this evening, run your race. Run your race. Run your race. One of my favorite leader of all time is Nelson Mandela. And one of the reasons in which he's one of my favorite leader is the way he went about his business. Nelson Mandela, although born in a black country, that black country was dominated by white people. And although Nelson Mandela was a brilliant man, they tried to suppress him. They threw him into prison because he stood up to speak for what was right. And he was in prison. I don't quite remember the amount of years that he was in prison for. However, when he was in prison, although the situation was not ideal, he still remained focused because his job was to liberate his people. May I say to our student this evening that maybe you're gonna be the liberator in your family. You are the one who's gonna rise up and make the difference in your family. And therefore, you need to stay motivated. I said it before that the situation, the whole condition was not ideal, but he stood his task. At the end of his time, he was eventually released from prison. Nelson Mandela rose up to become the first Black president of South Africa. But not only did he rose up to be the first Black president of South Africa, he rose up to be a man who person worldwide idolize. May I say to us this afternoon that we have our race. The situation, the climate might not be ideal, but remember, each situation that you may face, each situation you may face is preparing you for what is to come. As you go through this evening, don't be distracted by those who are in the race, but run your race. Let's pray. Almighty God, we thank you for this evening. We thank you, Almighty God, that you have blessed us with long life. You have given life unto us. I pray, God, that this life that you have given unto us, that we will use it for the glory and your honor. We pray, Almighty God, that we will not be distracted by what is happening around us. I pray, Almighty God, we'll stay focused. We'll have our eyes on the prize, God, and no matter what may come, Lord, that we will fight to the end. Father, as we have this meeting, pray that you will take full control of the meeting. Have your way in us, through us. In the name of Jesus Christ, I pray. Amen. Amen.
Thank you, Mr. Byfield, for such words of encouragement. And parents, I hope you do take what he says in consideration, because it's very important that we stay motivated and fight for the success that we work so hard for. Our principal, Mr. Orville Richards, vice principals, Mrs. Natoya Avis Wilson and Mr. Jones, our PTA president, Miss Devadine Green, colleagues, parents, students. Good evening to you all. My name is Mrs. Betsy Dawson, and I'm the grade 10 supervisor. And I want to welcome you all to our first PTA session for grades 9 and 10 students. My colleague, Mrs. Simmons, she should be here, but she is experiencing some internet challenges. And I know that she really wants to be here to share with you some of the things that we are going through with our grade 9 students. First, I must apologize for not using a video. The device I'm using is not, the camera on the device is not working. And this is the best device for this meeting as I have a lot of things to share. Our theme for this afternoon's meeting, we shouldn't be long, Mr. Richards. Our theme for this afternoon meeting is stay motivated, fight for success. Motivation. In this time that we are living, in this time that we are teaching as teachers, we have to stay motivated. We have to be motivated. We have to stay motivated. Motivation is an excellent tool to get you going, primarily when we just set a brand new goal. Whether it's losing weight, whether it's saving money, or just establishing an average of 80% in all subject areas for our students, will usually get us started with a bang. We have a new goal. Every year we set a new goal, New Year's resolution. We start with a bang. We start off right. We enjoy what we're doing. The problem is that motivation is fleeting, just like the willpower. When you start something new and exciting, motivation comes built in. It's strong at first, but when you hit a rough patch, the daily routine becomes boring. Or you don't see a results quickly enough, you might lose patience and throw in the towel or get discouraged. That happened to us. Online learning, excitement. We stay home on computer every day, online, internet every day. We got so excited about it. Then it becomes boring. Motivation alone to achieve our goal. If we use motivation alone to achieve our goal, we will surely fail because there are so many things in life that drain our motivation and willpower. Some days when things go perfectly well, it is easy to stay motivated. When things hit a rough patch, we stop. This should not be. We must learn to stay motivated at all costs and fight for what we want. As a school, the family of St. Mary Technical High School, we are expecting our students to be motivated, stay motivated, and fight for success at all costs. As teachers, we are doing our best to assist our students to stay motivated once they are initially motivated and fight for success. As parents, we want you to be a part of this triangle because two can't make a triangle. The triangle will be incomplete. We need you parents to help us fight, to help us keep our students motivated, stay motivated, and together we can all fight for the success of our students. We need to stay motivated, parents, students, colleagues, all. We need to stay motivated and fight for our success. I wish for you a successful meeting. I wish for you a good meeting. And I want for when the time comes for you to participate because this meeting is all about us as a school and you as a parent and our stakeholders, the main stakeholder, our students, your child, your children, your ward, that they are the main stakeholders. So this meeting is all about them. So let us contribute to this meeting so that we can stay motivated and fight for success. I welcome you one and all again. Now we'll turn over to the principal for address. So we have 4 addresses, one from the principal, from the vice principals, and from the PTA president. And we go in that order. Mr. Richards.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Dawson. Let me also say thanks to Mr. Byfield for the words of encouragement and, of course, words of wisdom and the prayer that he would have lifted up for this meeting and for our school. Let me use this opportunity to acknowledge Mr. Orville Jones and with our vice principal, Mrs. Wilson acting, all members of the senior management team. And parents, I want you to notice the word that I use, team. All members of the academic staff. We are having what is referred to as a PTA, and the T stands for teacher. And I can proudly say this evening that the teaching population, based on what I'm seeing in the participants list, is well represented. I see you smiling, Mrs. Wilson. The teachers are well represented. They are represented well this evening. Parents, very important. Partners, right? So we can switch the word parent, right? And we need another letter in it, and we call you partners because that's what you are. For those persons, so welcome everyone. And for the students who are here, let me also welcome you because you are a very critical part of what we do. You are the most important part of what we do. I would have played a song earlier and it sounded very old. It sounded very old, and some persons must be wondering why sir play that song. It's boring and it's old. But I deliberately play that song because it has a very significant message. It has a very important message, and I'm hoping I try to find the one that had the lyrics so you can read the lyrics that were on the screen. Because it says, common people like you and me will be builders for eternity. Each man given a bag of tools, a shapeless mass, and a book of rules. I want to say to the parents here today that at St. Mary Technical, what we are trying to do, our main focus is to give your children the bag of tools that will make them trade man and trade woman for life. We want to give them the tools that they need when they go out there in the world of work. The tools where they can adjust, they can adapt, they can be flexible, and they can make themselves productive. They can make you proud when they go out there in the world of work. Common people like you and me will be builders for eternity. So it really is telling us, parents, and my teachers listen to me every day. So I am not speaking directly to them right now. I'm speaking directly to the parents. I want you to understand that for us, you are giving them tools at home and we are giving them tools at school. So we have to be partnering to ensure that all the tools that we're giving them, that we're giving to them, they are properly aligned to what they will need when they go out there in the world of work. I want to say to you that you have to stay focused too. You have to stay motivated because you have to motivate yourself every Monday morning or every day of the week to ensure that they have food to eat, to go out there and work. You have to be motivated to go out there and work to provide for the household. You have to stay motivated so you can earn the money to give them the internet and the devices that they need in these times to come online for school. So you have to stay motivated in the supervision to ensure that they are doing what they do. As teachers, we have to stay motivated in terms of preparing meaningful lessons so they can learn, so they can get the bag of tools that they need, parents. And I want to say to you today, because I'm not going to be long, I'm wrapping up now, that I want you to understand that you must, and I've been preaching it into our vision, right? To become the premier TVET institution in Jamaica. Premier means that we want to become the best school that we can become. And we need your help. We need your partnership. We need your input. We cannot do it alone. Ms. Dawson gave a beautiful analogy. A triangle. We are one side. The school is one side. The student is another side, and we need the parent to form the third side to make the triangle complete, to give them the tools that they need for life. Common people like you and me will be builders for eternity. Each man given a bag of tool, a shapeless mass, and we will want to give them the book of rules of how they can go about being successful. Looking forward to a productive meeting. Welcome again. And thank you, everyone.
Mrs. Wilson? Mrs. Wilson? Mr. Jones?
Good evening, everyone. Let me acknowledge the persons on the platform, starting with our principal, Mr. Orville Richards. I think Mrs. Avis Wilson is somewhere around. Vice Principal acting, senior members of the academic staff, other members of the academic staff, our parents, and students who might be listening. Let me say a warm welcome to you and thank you for joining us this evening for our PTA. And as Sir has mentioned, it is not just an association for our parents, but our teachers are here as well. Many, many years ago, I learned a memory gem. The heights of great men reached and kept were not attained by sudden flight, but they, while their companion slept, were toiling upwards through the night. I know that to attain certain level of education is not easy. I know that we will have to make some serious decisions in order to attain certain goals that we have set ourselves. But we also have another saying that if we want good, our nose will have to run. Parents, you have a responsibility to provide your child, our student, with a solid education. It is not about a half-hearted approach, but as we would put it, we want full 100. We want your all. If you want to see success of your child, then we need to get full 100. We have been harping that you are a partner. We don't just want to say it to you, we want to feel your presence. We want to be almost able to visualize that kind of partnership where you get yourself involved in your child's education to make sure that the child gets maximum benefit from school. So it can't be a half-hearted approach. I want to encourage you, as Mr. Byfield said, to be motivated and to be focused. I know that there are distractions around. I know that there are hard times, especially now with COVID, but it is not about giving up. We are not that kind of a people that easily give up on anything. We are a resilient set of people, and I want for you to see yourselves as that. Don't count yourselves as less than, and I can't do it. Others have done it before you. And you're no lesser man, you're no lesser person. You can do it. And I want for you to maintain that focus and stay motivated and work as hard as you possibly can to get the best out of school at this time. I wish for you all a good evening and a productive meeting. Thank you.
Mrs. Wilson?
Principal, Mr. Orville Richards, colleague Vice Principal, Mr. Orville Jones, members of the academic staff, parents, guardians, good evening. It is with pleasure that I greet all on this platform this evening. As the theme states, stay motivated, fight for success. I wish to encourage the parents today that no matter what is happening around you, you're going to fight for your child to do well and to be successful. It was Bob Keeshan who said, parents are the ultimate role models for children. Every word, movement, and action has an effect. No other person or outside force has a greater influence on a child than their parents. Therefore, parents, we encourage you to listen to your children, laugh with your children, motivate your children, be positive. And also, if there is need for admonishment, then that is done. This evening, I wish to concur with all the other participants who have spoken that this is a partnership. And as such, we are being expected as teachers and administrators to play our part. Therefore, parents are being encouraged to play their part. How do you play your part? You play your part by making sure that your child has the tools for learning. You play your part by making sure that all assigned tasks they are completed. Homework, classwork, monthly tests, and examination. You also play your part by encouraging your child. This evening, I want to thank you very much for taking the time, for seeing this meeting as important, taking the time so that we continue to partner so that our children will have a successful future. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening.
Mrs. Green, Miss Green, sorry, Davardine Green.
Mrs. Dawson.
Yes, sir.
She's not here as yet.
Okay.
So we move on. Later on, we can go back to her.
Okay. Mrs. Simmons want to be a part of the program. She's trying to call in, but I have not received her call yet. Mrs. Simmons' parent is a grade 9 supervisor. So as soon as her call comes in, I will let her make her presentation. Thank you, Mr. Richards, Mr. Jones, and Mrs. Wilson for your addresses. And parents, you see, this is just evident that we are all interested. We are all interested in the success of our students, of your children. So we're asking you, we're imploring you, Mrs. Wilson did say, you are the greatest motivator to your child. So we're asking you to play your role in being a motivator so that your child can stay motivated and fight for the success they truly deserve. All right. As we continue with our agenda, I know we don't have much, but with our question and answer and the form teachers' concerns, because there are a lot of teachers here and there are a lot of concerns. As a grade 10 coordinator, I know that there are a lot of concerns with grade 10. So I'm going to allow the principal again to speak. He'll be speaking on the online attendance because he knows he's in charge of all that thing. He knows who is attending and who is not attending, because I can only speak about grade 10. but he knows all. So he will speak on the attendance and the assessment that's been done or not done online. Mr. Richards.
All right, good evening again, parents. If you notice, I am sharing my screen, but before I go to my screen, before I mention, I speak about what is on my screen, let me speak quickly to something that, I mean, when we look at it, it's a huge cause for concern. Mark you, we don't know circumstances, but we have twinned 2 grades for PTA meeting this evening. And I really want to commend all the parents who are here. But if you take a look over as to participants to see the number of participants who are here, you will realize that we are only at about, I think we went up to 57 right now. I think 3 persons were bumped off. But why am I mentioning this? When we twin 2 grades, we're talking about 400 students. And if we are not having 100 parents online to listen to what, or for us to listen to them, we are in serious trouble as a school. And it can't go unnoticed that we have 400 students combined between grades 9 and 10. And we're having a PTA meeting online where parents don't have to travel to the school for the PTA meeting. And we can't even have 100 persons online to talk to or to have a meeting with. And it spells, it does not augur well for what we are trying to achieve, the partnership that we are trying to achieve as a school. So, I mean, I am a little bit disheartened by that. We have to understand, you know, sometimes when you put out the effort, and as teachers, when we put out the effort and persons simply don't turn up, persons simply don't turn up, what it does, it saps the energy. And we are speaking about motivation. We are a little bit disheartened, yes, but we stay motivated because tomorrow we will and come again, and we are not giving up because we are staying motivated to what we have to do, to the task at hand. So that's really a sore point for this meeting right now. And believe it or not, if we can check it, I believe maybe we have more teachers in this meeting than parents. In the 52 persons who are on the platform right now, I believe that maybe we have more teachers than parents. We have a few persons on YouTube because we're also streaming live on YouTube. But to get into the meat of the matter, I want you to look at what I am showing you right there. You see grade 9 and you will see grade 10, all the classes. And I am like a stuck tape. You know, a tape that is stuck and saying the same thing over and over, like I am on repeat, because it's the same thing that I would have mentioned last night. Because when you look at, for example, 9S, all right, 9T for the 25th, which was Monday. 9T had 25 students, 11 boys, 14 girls. And when you go to 9T's class, the teacher did not have the 25 students there. So parents, it is not good that we have about 200 students in grade 9. And on Monday, we only had 109 coming to school. Same thing for grade 10, about 200. And we only have 110 of them coming to school. And when we check our list, because Ms. Dawson had mentioned it, when we went into the system to see all the students who have not logged onto the system from grade 7 to 9, In total, we have about 50 students who have not logged onto the system any at all. So it can't be good. So parents, the attendance to school starts at 8 o'clock in the morning. The attendance to school must be improved. School starts at 8 every day. So if we have General Assembly, they turn up for General Assembly. If it is form time, them turn up for form time. Right? So if it is devotion, they need to turn up for devotion. If it is registration, they need to turn up for registration to mark their names at 8 o'clock in the morning. See it? Monday, 109 grade 9, 110 grade 10. Grade 10 remain the same on Tuesday, but grade 9 dropped to 87 on Tuesday. Let us see what today is like. Right? Grade 9 went up to 102. Grade 10 fell to 104. Parents, I mean, I may be speaking to the converted here, but this must change. This must change. There's absolutely no way they can learn if they don't go to school. There's absolutely no way that you can be providing the data and the internet and the devices and they don't go to school. So you have to fix that. You have to help us to fix that. We don't know when these kids are going to come back into the physical space because we don't have permission for any grades from 7 to 10 to take them back into the physical space at this time. So let me repeat that. We do not have permission to take the grade 7 to 10 back to school at this time. We have to wait on the ministry to tell us when we can do that. How do we teach now? Online. What time school starts? 8:30. Lunchtime? Sorry, 8 o'clock. Lunchtime is 11 o'clock to 12 o'clock. School goes from, I think on a Monday we go up to 3 o'clock. All the other days, 2:30, maybe with the exception of Wednesday. So parents, I am saying to you that the students must go on to the Google Classroom in the mornings. School starts at 8. Mark their names and have devotion with God, with the form teachers, and bring God into whatever we're doing as a school, whatever we're doing as people, because we cannot do without God, and attend all classes. These numbers just don't cut it. And you know what is the sad thing about it? It's not like some of these kids don't have access to internet or data. And it's not like some of them don't have access to devices. Some of them just don't turn up for school. The same way we have to search for them when they come to the physical school, because we use the word them skull class. Nowadays, because the parent gone to work and all of those things, them skull school. We will speak a little bit about it later on as to how you can check the devices to find out if your kids are going to school. You need to build a relationship with the form teachers, with the teachers, to find out if the students are coming to school. So you can text a teacher, not too late, but at a certain time when it's convenient, with the consent of the teacher, to say, did Orville Richards turn up for your class or for school today? So that is the partnership that we want. So the supervision, and I'm not telling you to beat your child. I'm not telling you to boof them. But I'm saying to you that you must hold them responsible for your investment that you're making, because you're staying motivated to go to work to provide the food, the clothing, and the shelter. All they need to do is come to school to get the bag of tools so that they can go out there and become builders. It is very, very important, parents. You need to ensure that they are attending school. School starts at 8. They need to be up at 8, put on them uniform, put on them PE shirt, put on them white t-shirt, and go to school so that they can benefit. Thank you very much. That is all I have to say on attendance. If you have questions, parents, write them down. You will get a chance to ask your questions later on. But ensure that your child is going to school.
Yes, I'll give you a rest, Mr. Richards. You are down also to do an assessment. I don't know if Mrs. Wilson is going to talk about assessment.
Yes, please, Mrs. Dawson. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. Should I go ahead?
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Good evening again, parents and members of the academic staff. This evening, I want to highlight the high non-compliance of students submitting homework and classwork. What we are seeing is that most of the students do not submit the homework. Also, they will have the classwork, the teacher will assign the task, and they fail to complete it. So I'm going to ask at this time that you check the device. How do you check the device? If you are not familiar with the Google Classroom, I'm going to ask that you tell your child to take the device to you and open the Google Classroom. When they do so, you will see each subject listed. For grade 9, you should see 16 subjects. For grade 10, depending on the class, you will see between 6 and 9 subjects. When you touch a particular, so you click on a particular class, for example, geography, you will see classwork. Also, you will see grades. If you click on grades and you see turn in, that means the child have submitted the task. However, if you see assigned, the child did not complete the task. Therefore, you can say to your child, Betsy Dawson, Betsy, why didn't you complete this task? Because we are reaching a point now where we are going to call in parents. It makes no sense that parents sacrifice, teachers plan, and students come to class and do no work. Remember now that we are creating a record at this institution. Some will say, I will never want a record from St. Mary Technical. However, be careful. I have seen where someone attended the institution in the 70s. They went overseas, received employment, and was asked for a transcript. Where are they going to get it? The high school they attended. So either the workplace contact the school without their knowledge, or they have to contact the school, and we have to send a transcript. Therefore, I am begging all parents, ask your child to take the device that they use with the Google Classroom on it, and to make sure to show you, look on the classwork and see if the task have been submitted. As I said, you will see turn in if it has been submitted. So I'm asking you that tonight, so that in the future, we see greater compliance with the submission of the assigned task. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Wilson, and thank you, Mr. Richards, for your presentations. And parents, as a grade supervisor of grade 10, there are so many things I could say right here. Because even this afternoon, I was in another meeting and the teachers were saying that, Mrs. Dawson, even if the students even submit the work, sometimes it's a blank sheet. Let's just submit it because they don't want the parents to see that they have outstanding work. So they are smart. They are smart. So you have to ask them to show me the work. Let me see what you are doing at school. Because if you don't do that, you'll be surprised when the report comes out sometime next year. There's a lot of empty spots. There's a lot of zeros. And you are sure your child goes to school every day and log on every day. But what are they logging on to? What are they doing? So we have to take a more active role in the life of our children. We have to, because that is how they are successful. I was just looking at the school mission statement, and it's there. We are preparing our students we are preparing them with skills and knowledge to achieve certification and competence for entry to tertiary institutions. We are preparing them to have skills to meet the challenges of a changing environment. This is a changing environment. This is a new norm. We are trying as school. We are trying. But if the students are not interested, if you are not doing your part, they will not be able to work in the changing environment. They will not be able to be qualified for tertiary level education. And that's what the school is all about, preparing. We want them to move forward. We don't want to see them on the road. We want them to go to colleges. We want them to become doctors, lawyers. We want them to create their own path. So parents, we can't do it on our own. We need your support. We need your assistance. I have also on agenda school-based assessment. Well, grade 9 doesn't do school-based SBA yet. We are preparing them to go to grade 10. They have not started SBA yet. Grade 10 is the first term, and we are having challenges still. I have students right now in grade 10 that are not placed in grade 10. They have not submitted their forms. They are not placed in grade 10 grade 10 class. We have 6 grade 10 class. They are not placed because they have not submitted. They are not coming online. They are not contacting the school. I have students who have been invited to form classes. They have not accepted invitations. I know especially for sciences, they start SB in grade 10. I don't think they start the first term, but they're going to start it soon. Sciences, I know for some other practical subjects, they start their SB in grade 10. I always say grade 10 is the most crucial year of a child's life, because at grade 10, the work they do recommends them for CXE in grade 11. Grade 10 is very, very important. So parents, I don't know how many grade 10 parents are here in this meeting because the number is really small. I don't know how many grade 10 parents are here, but grade 10. The grade 9, I can speak to that also because I have to work with grade 9s to put them in grade 10. Grade 9, you have to start work. The basic of most subjects are taught in grade 9, even from grade 7, but we start assist them in grade 9. So when they reach grade 9, we prepare them to go to grade 10. And in grade 10, we prepare them to do 60 in grade 11. So parents, there's no way, if a child miss out any aspect of his or her school life, it's going to affect the decision he or she makes later on. So we're encouraging you, please, when you finish this meeting, call your child, ask them what was done at school today, what homework you get. Did you complete your class activity? Which teacher you had today? Ask these questions. Ask the name of your teachers. Some students will not know the teacher's name because they don't go to class. So parents, please work with them. Talk to grade 10 students. Do you have your SBA? Did you get an SBA today? Ask them what they do in the different classes they attend today, because until you do that, until you start show interest in your child's school life, they will not be motivated. Or if they were motivated, they will not stay motivated. You are the motivator at home. We try to be a motivator at school, but we only can motivate them when they come to school. All right. We now have, I don't know, Miss McCoy, are you here? She's going to talk about book rental because some persons have not, some grade 10 especially, and grade 9s have not received books yet. So Miss McCoy, are you here?
Before Miss McCoy goes, Mrs. Dawson,
Yes, Mr. Richards.
let me make a very salient point that parents must be aware of, especially now that we are on the grade 10 period. Parents for grade 10 students. This the whole concept of recommendation starts in grade 10. So recommendation of students are is basically contingent. It is aligned, directly aligned to students' performance in grade 10. So when they are at next year, this time, God sparing our life, and we get through this pandemic and they're in grade 11, when the time comes for them to be recommended, it will be done based on the work that they do in grade 10. Added to that, I want you to understand also that the government has a facility right now. We don't know whether or not it is going to change. It has been in place for many years where they pay for C-Sex subjects for students who are going into grade 11 to sit exams. But the government does not just get up and pay for the subjects just like that. So if your child is not doing any work on averaging 20 or below 20 or even below 50, I know right now they pay for about 55. So if your child is averaging below 55 right now, when they go into grade 11 next year, you will have to find the money out of your own pocket. I go even further. The government has a system right now that they pay for up to 8 C-Sex subjects for student on path. So it is dependent on the work that they do in grade 10. So I don't know if any of you are rich. I am not rich, right? But if you are rich and you can pay it for yourself, fine. Or if you have a gold spoon where your child will get a supper for the golden medicine so that they have a family business and they don't need to take education seriously, then you can allow the child to do whatever they want. But if you want that child to achieve and you are struggling, as I know that when I was growing up, I had to struggle through high school financially because I am proud to say my mother never have it. Education got me where I am today. So the reality is government pays for up to 8 CXC subjects for students on path. Non-path students, government pay for maths, English, one science subject, and information technology, I think, are EDPM. Now, if you want to get the benefit of that, you need to do the work in grade 10. And parents, you need to ensure that they do the work that is necessary for them to get the subsidy, so you don't have to be running around to find the thousands. This year is I think it's about $5,000 to register and about $5,000 some dollars per subject. So if your child is doing 8 subjects plus the registration fee, and the government is not good, 5/8 is 40, plus the $5,000 for registration, plus the practical fees, plus the oral fees, and all of the other fees. You're looking at $50,000 come next year, and it might go up. Because that is the fee for this year, and they're not doing the exam this year. So now, if you have the money to pay, because $50,000 in this time is a lot of money to find. Think about it. Orville Richards is on path, and I do all my work, and the government pays all of that money for me. How beautiful that is. But think about it now. For example, Betsy Dawson wastes her time and no interested in a school on social media when she for their class. You understand? They're on Instagram and WhatsApp and Facebook and watching YouTube videos, not educational things, and get all 20s. And then the mother have to find the money. Parents, we have to be sensitized to these facts. So I am imploring you why the students need to go to school. And please do not come to me and tell me that you're asking me to repeat them in grade 9 or grade 10, because that will never happen. That is not going to happen. Because we have the grade 8s and grade 9. 8's going to 9 and 9 going to 10 for next. You are going to grade 10 next year. We don't have the space for that. Right? So remember also that the government is saying it's 7 mandatory years in high school now. So please make use of the financial opportunities that you have. We never have those things when we're growing up in high schools, you know. My mother had to find the $400 and some dollars for CXC at that time in 1990, in 1990, which year again, Mr. Wilson? 95. That was a lot of money to find $400 and something dollars back then to pay for CXC. We never get any help. Think about the government paying 40,000 for you. Make them pay it. I encourage you to allow them to pay it, so the students do the work and make the government find the money if you pay for your picking, because you don't have it. So that is one of the ways to get out of it, parents. I just wanted to make that point.
Thank you very much, Mr. Richards. I hope they are all listening, because it's very important, and they will hear it again as time progresses, that you need to encourage your child to go to class. Ms. McCoy.
Good evening, Mr. Richards, our principal, vice principals, and fellow colleagues, parents, and most importantly, our students. I am Miss Lorna McCoy, teacher of business and the acting bookroom coordinator. I'll begin with the persons who we are prioritizing at this point in time. And I could also say we are really, really concerned about them, and that is our grade 10 students. When I did some checks, I realized that 10Y, no one has collected a textbook. 10A, only 5 students. 10S, 15. 10T, 27. 10M, 20. And 10R, 29. So some classes, it's just under half, a little over half, or none at all. And as was said before by the administrators, grade 10 is a very critical year. And we want our students to have their text as it is what is recommended for them to use. Reason being, these texts are aligned to the syllabus. Persons feel that, okay, I don't need the text because when a question is asked, I can Google. When they respond sometimes, the answer that they are given does not relate to their content. It does not relate. So therefore, it is very important for them to get their books. And as Sir stated earlier, grade 10 is what recommends the student for their CSEC exam. So we have to think seriously about these things. By Friday of this week, we will be posting a schedule for persons to come and pick up their books. Adhering to COVID protocols, we just don't want to say you can come anytime, because we might just find everyone coming out on that particular day. And we really don't want that. So please, parents, as soon as you see the schedule, ensure that your child is out, or you can come along and get the books. There is absolutely no shortage where the books are concerned for the upper school students. Grade 10 in particular, all books are available for them. The ministry did not meet the time schedule to furnish us with the books that were ordered. So we are short on some books that would be for the lower schools. Grade 9, parents, if you are here, we still have textbooks for integrated science available. The information technology book, just click, it is available. The math book for grade 9, we have just about 2 or 3 left in stock. And there are some English books. Some are damaged as we did not get the amount of the new book that we would have wanted. So as a school, we are asking you to bear with us where there's a shortage. As soon as the ministry makes those books available, then we will contact you. As stakeholders, we have and should have each other's interest at heart as we focus on assisting our students to be productive citizens. Thank you. Over to you, Mrs. Dawson.
Okay, thank you, Ms. McCoy. And parents, just I know it will be posted in the various groups with the notice for book rental and also the form classes. So just ask your child when after Friday you should get something. When is the day for them to collect the books? Because the books are very, very important. All right, we're coming down. Form teachers concern. There are some concerns. So we're starting with grade 9 form teachers. I'm not sure, I was hoping to get a listing. I'm not remembering all the form teachers. I know Mrs. Menzies is one. I know Miss Pottinger is another. Do you have any concerns, grade 9 form teachers, that you want to talk about at this time? I'm open the floor to you. Grade 9 form teachers. No concern, grade 9. This is a place for us to talk about the concerns we have with our grade 9 students. Okay. Grade 10 form teachers. I know you have concerns, so raise your hand. Yes, Miss Leamy, go ahead. You're the first one to go. Miss Leamy is one of the form teachers for 10A class. Go ahead, Miss Leamy, unmute and go.
Unmute. Hi, so good afternoon, everyone. It's Leamy, as Ms. Dawson said, the form teacher of 10A. One of my major concerns is, and I heard Sir speaking about it earlier, is with the attendance. Yes, it is important that the students mark the register, but we have to ensure that the students mark the register on time because the attendance is submitted by a certain time daily. And I have observed where sometimes I have students marking register 6 o'clock p.m., 10 o'clock p.m. and times like those. So we have to ensure that the students mark this register in time so that we can submit the correct numbers, because I can't speak for all teachers, but I have seen instances where the students are active in the WhatsApp groups and they are not marking the register at the same time. So that means that they have access to data service. So we want to ensure that they mark the registers by 8:30 in the morning. For my class, I can say that my register is posted by 7:45 every morning, and the time ends at 8:30. So we just like the students to mark the register on time so that we can submit accurate numbers. Thank you.
Okay, Miss Leamy, you may lower your hand. Any other grade 10 form teachers? Grade 9, grade 10? Or Miss Cameron, go ahead. And then Miss Patterson, Mrs. Alexander, Miss Cameron.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Miss Cameron. I am a teacher of the business department and also one of the form teacher of grade 10T. I trust that all is well so far, all protocols observed. My biggest challenges I'm currently having with my form class is the attendance for classes. The business department caters to different business subjects, and most of these subjects are I wouldn't say walkover, but like I'm speaking specifically for like accounts and IT, those subjects, mathematics, those subjects you have to be at all classes in order to fully grasp what is being delivered. And the saddest thing that students are missing out on these subjects amongst other subjects of the department, and they are not coming in, they are not submitting their work on time, they are not even coming to classes, and that's a major concern. And I know that it would have been mentioned where students are not going to classes, but I'm focusing on my form class. And I am pleading and I'm begging the parents, please get a copy of the timetable. The timetable is there, they have it, the students have it. Use the device, access it, it is in the classroom. Know when each classes are being scheduled for, so you can be there, check on it. Even if it might not be physically available during the days, check on it in the evenings. You can see if the child would have submitted what is needed. We are in the month of October. October is finished, practically finished. Moving on to November, and some students haven't even started the first piece of assignment, and that's a serious call for concern. Because we don't want when next year this time persons are calling and begging to, boy, my child is not recommended for this area because but the child will have to put in the effort now. Not having a laptop and have a phone is not an excuse. As a teacher, sometimes our device go down just the same, but it's how you navigate around that. With the online space, the work is there. It's not like it is removed at the end of each class. The work is always there, so you can be flexible. Most times when myself and Miss Thompson have form time to ask the students about the concern, it's just the converted that are there. So I am begging you, as the form teacher of 10T, I'm begging the parents to please encourage your child. I know it's hard and we're living in a different time and age now, but I am begging you, try it, man. Try it. Please encourage them to come out so they can make the best of their situation regardless. All right. So that's it from me. Have yourself a good rest of the evening.
All right, thank you, Miss Cameron. Mrs. Alexander, she is a form teacher of one of the form teachers of 10R. Go ahead, Mrs. Alexander.
Good evening, everyone. Well, some of what I wanted to speak about, Miss Cameron mentioned too, and there are some students who will come on, like for my form class 10R, and they will always mark their names. I also teach them integrated science, and I've never seen them in class. I've contacted some of the parents. Some responded stating that the students will be coming to class or their child will be coming to class. I've not seen them yet. So they're always marking their names. They're not at class. And this is like more than 50% of them not coming. When you post the assignments, post the classwork, these are the students who are missing. They are not submitting classwork. They are not submitting their assignments. And the same thing goes for grade 9. I teach grade 9 language and lit. 9S in particular, that class, some students will always be submitting their work, and there's another set not doing it. Another thing I want to mention too is that not only for my class that teachers are complaining about, as in my form class, but some teachers would have mentioned that they're having the same problems where the students, they mark their names and they leave. They would not complete the assignment. Or what some of them are doing, just typing in like a few words and said that they submit the assignment and there's nothing there. So parents, I'm imploring you just to take a closer look at what the students are doing. Thank you, Mrs. Dawson.
All right, thank you, Miss Patterson. Both of you may lower your hands. Miss Cameron, you may lower your hand. Any other teacher, form teacher? Anybody else from grade 9 or grade 10? All right, no problem. Thank you very much, colleagues, for giving your input. And parents, you would have realized that all the teachers are saying the same thing. The attendance, the assessment, the principal spoke about it, the vice principal spoke about it. So you have to do your part now, ensure. As I said, once the meeting is finished, don't even wait until tomorrow. Once the meeting is finished, call them, ask them, what did you do today? Are you going to your classes? Show me the classes that you are in. And things like that. Do it today. Do not wait for tomorrow. All right. So we're at a point where you have your questions and answers. I'm sure you must have some questions that you want to ask, and we will try to answer them as best as possible. Questions, parents?
Dawson, they can type the question in the chat or use the raise hand feature.
Okay, you would have heard Mrs. Wilson. You can type the question in the chat, or you can use the raise hand feature at the bottom of your screen. I'm sure parents, you must have some questions that you need to answer. So this is the time that you ask your questions. All right, I think there's a question about when can my son visit the school to collect the book? But based on the timetable, one will be posted by the end of the week. And when that is posted, it will be distributed in the form classes. So your child will know when to collect. So by the end of the week, you can ask him or her, where is the timetable for collecting books? And you will know which day he or she can come to school to collect the book. That's one question I'm seeing. 9 Emma, 9 informed teachers here. Do you have a WhatsApp group? I am not sure if 9 Emma, I think all the grades, all the classes have WhatsApp group, but if they don't have WhatsApp group, there is a classroom for them. They can still communicate with their teachers, whether publicly in the stream or send a private message to the teacher.
Dawson?
Yes, Mrs. Wilson.
I have Mr. David Moore.
Okay.
Mr. Moore, you may go ahead and ask your question.
Yes, good evening to everyone. My name is Alvin Moore. I'm the parent of David Moore. My concern is that this is 90, and I realize that he doesn't have an English language teacher for this week. Can you shed some light on that for me, please?
90. Mrs. Wilson, Mr. Richards?
90 doesn't have an English language teacher? Is that what you ask?
Yes. Yes. As I said,
90 does have an English language teacher.
English language. I was here with him yesterday, and he had an English class. There wasn't a teacher available. So
on a consistent basis or a one-off? Is this one-off, Mr. Moore?
Please ask him who is the teacher. Who is the teacher, Mr. Moore?
Give me a minute, please.
Sure.
Mr. Moore, is it just one class that the teacher would not have shown up for? Because if it is just this week, I heard you saying this week.
Yes,
if it is just right, and we are at Wednesday and you didn't see the teacher yesterday, then something may have happened.
Okay.
Pardon?
All right. I'm glad for that. But my concern is that could they look into it that when they're not available for class, could they post some, like give them some work to do so that they don't spend that free time browsing it, that doing unnecessary things?
Noted, Mr. Moore.
All right, thank you very much, and enjoy the rest
You're
of the day.
welcome, sir.
Bye.
Ms. Forbes? Nicola
Hello,
Forbes?
Yes, good night. I'm Nicola Forbes, parent of Fiona Lily from 9T. I have a concern and a question. My concern is that when the teachers are not having live class, could they do something about the meet room so that the students cannot go in? Because my daughter was on class, I think it was a music class one day, and there was no teacher in the class. She was in the class for about 30 minutes. And she brought it to me and said, Mommy, there's no teacher in the class. When she brought her device to me, there was a child in the class saying to another child that that child should open her mic, open her video camera so that he could see her. When she opened her video camera, he said to her, I say you're pretty. Me want you to come comfort me or something like that because me cool. Hello?
Yes, we're waiting until you're finished, Miss Forbes.
Yes, that is my concern. My question now, I'm the agriculture teacher. I've spoken to the principal. I've spoken to the form teacher for 90, that is Mr. Philip Washington, to contact the 90 agriculture teacher because my daughter does not have the agriculture class on her class list in Google Classroom, and she only can access the class from the link they send in WhatsApp. So, and I've spoken to the principal, I've spoken to the form teacher on multiple occasions. He said he put it in the group that the teachers are in, and I still have not, and my daughter still has not received an invite for agriculture, so she cannot access the class. She has seen no notes, and she has received no classwork.
Mr. Richards, you want to address that?
All right. Thank you, Mrs. Dawson. Tell me your daughter's name, please.
Fiona Lily, Phiona.
You're speaking about 90
agriculture teacher, yes, sir.
Right. I'm gonna sort it out, mother. So you should
yes,
get
sir,
the
please.
you will get the invitation very, very soon.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
Fiona Lily. All right.
Regards to the other, Miss Wilson, want to try answer that, or Mr. Jones?
About the Google Classroom, Mrs. Dawson?
Yes, sir.
I think that has been, with the upgrade in the Google Classroom, the students can't go in without the teacher starting the meet now. So I think that going forward, we should not have that issue to deal with.
Okay.
Sir, they can go in, but they will not have host control. So we are just going to remind teachers to
yes, make the link. Yeah.
Make the link. Yes, sir. So they can enter, but they will not have host control. So we take it from you, Miss Forbes, that we're just going to ask teachers to make sure that they hide the link until they have entered the class, then they make the link available. So thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Mr. Richards and Mrs. Wilson. Any other comments, any other questions? Great, parents? Parents, this is your chance to talk.
There is a question here. Said the Ministry of Education said they would provide tablets for students on path in lower school. Have the school, sorry, it just went by. Have the school been updated? Mr. Horton, the school has not received the tablets for the students on path in lower school. If the ministry sends it, and when, as soon as this is done, all parents will be updated.
Okay.
I am not seeing another question.
Okay. Parents, we're still waiting. It's your time. It's your time to ask the questions that you may want to know answers for.
I'm not seeing no hand raised either. Mrs. Dawson, I just want, while we wait on the parents for another minute, as it is 6 minutes to 7, I want to say if your child is a member of 10MT history or 10R history, please collect the books. I personally went to the book room and the books are there. The books are there. And the teacher, Mrs. Ferguson, is having a challenge with students not being prepared and reading the material. So I'm going to kindly ask, yes, we have all the books for history. And history is one subject at St. Mary Technical High School that we have an oversupply of books for. So for each theme, we have books. I'm going to kindly ask that if your child is in 10MT and they chose history or 10R, ask them for the textbook. And if they don't have the textbooks, it's books for history, not one. And we have all the necessary tools for the history class. I also went, I saw the geography books just being there. And when I entered the class and the teacher, Miss Tanton, Miss gave work, the teacher, the students are posting, Miss, I don't have the book. Well, this is unacceptable. The books are at the school. You were given a date to collect and it wasn't done. So we're giving another date. I'm talking grade 10 geography. So we're giving another date and this will be communicated as said by Miss McCoy. Make sure that you have the text. And even if it is not being used in the class, you can read on your own. Parents, go on the CSEC website, www.cxc.org, download all the syllabus for each subject. It is free. All you do is make an account. So if the child is sitting math, English language, POB, office administration, accounts, agriculture, geography, whatever it is, go on the site, download the syllabus so that you know exactly what is being, what each child or what the exam will be catered, what the exam is being catered to. There are specimen papers. So there are papers there, past papers with answers with each syllabus. So please download the syllabus. That is your part. You can do that part. Ask them to download the syllabus. Go online, they download everything else, pull up the phone, and then tell you there's no space. Take out some of the music, take out some of the apps, delete some pictures, put in CSEC syllabus, and read ahead of class so that they can be successful. We are seeing a Galaxy 10AS, and we're going to ask that when you enter the meetings, please rename your device so that we can call you by name. I don't want to call Galaxy A10s, but I'm going to ask you to unmute and go ahead. Thank you.
Good evening. Sorry about that. I did not realize. I don't think it gave me the option to change the name.
That's fine. Speak up a little louder. Hear it. We're not hearing clearly.
My name is Jamian Evans. My son is Travoy Weber. I am wondering because he did not get an invitation for English Lit and agriculture, history as well. Is it that they're not getting those classes because he did not get any invitation for them?
Class is it, please?
9A.
Okay. For 9A, they don't sit English Lit. And which other one did you just say? Agriculture. What else?
And history.
And history. No, those subjects are not done in 9A or why?
So they're supposed to have only 13 subjects that they're doing, 13 classes?
Yes, miss.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
There's a question in the chat. Good night. This is Mrs. Karine Arns. She's wondering if there is a maths class for 10R all, they are math class for all grade 10s. Mrs. Alexander know of that she's not. I don't know if she's not invited. Mrs. Irons, would you want to unmute and talk to us? Is she doesn't have an invitation for the class?
I think so. So we're going to action that, Mrs. Dawson. I have noted her name, and I will make sure to find out which math class she is in and have her invited.
Okay. Any other question, parents?
Okay, Mrs. Alexander, she's asking all the parents to purchase the literature book Old Story Time by Trevor Rohn for grade 9 students. So if you have done so already, thank you very much. However, if you haven't, please purchase the text Old Story Time for English literature class. It is now 7:01. I'm seeing no more questions. If that is the case, parents, I wish to thank you for your time in this meeting. Mr. Richards, one other question from, we're seeing Cynthia Lonely, sorry. So I'm going to ask you to unmute at this time. Thank you. Go ahead, Miss Loney. Loney, I'm not hearing the question and your hand is raised. Is it by error? You can unmute or take the, go ahead, Miss Loney.
My grandson, Fabian Loney, Loney Mackenzie, he hasn't gotten any link for English language in grade 90.
You gotten an invitation or link to the class?
He hasn't got a link. Invitation.
All right, we'll check on that and make sure the invitation is sent. We'll check on that, and tomorrow we'll send an invitation. So thank you for highlighting that.
Mrs. Wilson, there's one more question in the chat. Are the literature books for PATH students at the school?
Right. When the government had issued the statement that they would provide literature books for students on PATH, they provided literature books for one class per se. So if we have 35 students or 38 students in a class, they provide just a class set. And what the teachers would do is take it to class at a particular time. So we only have a few literature books. So with nearly 200 students in grade 9, and we have only a class set. So when they said literature books, they're not providing individual books. They're providing it as a class set, but they didn't make that clear to the public, right? It's a class set, so we have only a few of the books that the teacher would the teachers of literature would have taken to the class. And that is why we're asked, because it's COVID now, the teachers are not able to take the class set because we're not having face-to-face. So we are sorry for that. So I'm going to ask that as soon as we can, we purchase the books because we only have a class set for the grade, right? And that's it. Miss McIntosh, please, you could state your daughter's name and class and we'll get her added. Mrs. Dawson, could you kindly wrap up? If Mr. Richards or Mr. Jones has nothing else to say, we would now pronounce, I nearly said the benediction at Mr. Thomas Church. but we will adjourn shortly. Parents, we want to thank you very much for taking the time to be with us this evening. Sometimes we're talking to the converted, but we rather to talk nonetheless. So we want to thank you for taking the time, for being with us. And we ask that you continue to motivate your child to do their best. As teachers, we are going to try our best to attend the classes and make sure that the teaching and learning process is done in a way that we know you will be pleased with. We thank all the academic staff members for being present in our meeting today. And we hope that you will have a restful night. Over to you, Mrs. Dawson.
Thank you, Mrs. Wilson. Mr. Richards, you have a final word?
Can say parents who are here, we have a grade 9 WhatsApp group, we have a grade 10 PTA group. It would have been good that we would have received this information about the classes that the students are not in very early, because we're almost 8 weeks into the school year, but never too late for a show of rain. So we will action what we are seeing. If it's a case where there is an issue or a concern, school related issue or concern, use the WhatsApp group. That's why they are there for us to communicate. All right. I just want to say to you, thank you for being here. And we are grateful to have you. And we encourage you to stay motivated, stay focused, and work with us as we try to provide your kids with the bag of tools that they need for life. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Richards. Mr. Jones, any final comment? Okay, Mr. Jones is not here. All right, parents, I too want to say thank you very much for coming out. It seems that most of our parents are grade 9 based on the questions, but nevertheless, you are here. And I know that you will ensure that, as if your child is one of them who is not attending classes, I'm sure you will try to play a more active role in your child's school life. And as our theme say, we need to stay motivated and fight for success. And we will fight with you as teachers. We have been fighting for your students a long time, and we will continue to fight, but we need you to be a part of our fight. So continue, parents, to motivate your students. Continue to be a part of the school, because St. Mary Technical High School will not be here without you, our parents, or PTA. Use up the WhatsApp group. Yes, Mr. Richards. So a parent said only admin can make comments or send messages, but we'll look at that. Use up the WhatsApp groups, because some information can be relayed to you, or when you have the questions, you can ask them via the WhatsApp groups. So we'll look at the admin section, and we allow you now and then to make your comments. Thank you once again, parents, for coming to our first meeting, and do continue to have a restful evening. Thank you all.
Dawson, which Mr. Harold Ortman said his child is not in a math class for grade 9. Can you just type which grade 9 class, and Shakima McIntosh's parent, which grade 9 class is she in, so that we can do that as soon as possible. So thank you. The others can leave. Errol Horton, kindly state the grade 9 class your child is in, so we can assist you promptly tomorrow. And Shakima McIntosh's parent.
9R, easy 9R.
What's the name of the child? Mr. Horton, what is the name of your child?
And Shakima Martin, 90.
Errol Horton. All right. Thank you very much. We'll make sure we'll check on it, because we want every student to be online and in class. Thank you much. Have a good evening.
Have a good evening, parents.